There's a lot of rumors right now involving Giannis Antetokounmpo on where he will get traded to if the Bucks decide to acquiesce to his demands about getting traded. And one of the teams that's being talked about right now is my Spurs. I'm a Spurs fan, for those of you who don't know. And I checked Vegas odds. I think right now Spurs are ranked number one when it comes to the favorite to land Giannis. And some of you guys would think like, wow, that would be great for the Spurs, and that I should be excited about the chance to get Giannis on the Spurs. And I know this is a hot take, but I actually don't want Giannis on the Spurs. You guys could call me crazy and say I'm nuts, but I do not want to do a trade to get Giannis. Now, I will say Giannis is still a top five player in the NBA. You look at his numbers this year, they're great. 28.9 points per game, 10.1 rebounds, 6.1 assists, a little bit less than one block a game. And he's shooting 63% overall from the field, 43 from three. Granted, he's not attempting many threes per game, but that's still impressive for him to shoot that well. So across the board, he's putting up great numbers. And you're thinking like, why would you not accept an MVP like player on your team? Well, for a few things I'm gonna say. First of all, he's not really that young anymore. He's only well, I shouldn't say only. He just turned 31 years old. Actually, he didn't turn 31 yet. He's going to turn 31 in like 2 days on December 6th. So he's 2 days away from turning 31 years old. That means he probably has a good 4 years playing at a high level. So then the argument would be like, well, he has 4 great years left. You should still want him on your team. Okay, so my comeback to that argument is that Giannis, to me, has always been injury prone the last 3-4 years, ever since his Bucks won that championship back in 2021. He always gets injured at like the most inopportune times. Like, I think the past 2 out of 3 years, he's gotten injured during the playoffs, and he wasn't able to help his team in the playoffs, and that resulted in the Bucks, I think, getting eliminated in the first round a few times in the last 3-4 years. When if he was able to play at full strength, they definitely don't get eliminated in round one. But that's why I just have a lot of hesitation about him, because this guy could bust his ass for a whole entire year and then he just gets hurt randomly. So he hasn't really proven to me of recent history that he can stay healthy when it matters. I don't trust him. He recently got a calf strain injury that's going to keep him out for a few weeks. So this guy has a history of being injury prone. I know some people argue, well, Victor is also injury prone. He got a calf strain. And I would say, yes, another reason why we shouldn't have two guys who are both injury prone on the same team, in which the Spurs would tie up pretty much more than half of their salary cap to, which I think would be a bad idea. So that is my biggest concern. Like, you mortgage the future on a guy that can easily get hurt at any time, who's just injury prone, who can't really stay healthy when it matters. I think that's very, very dangerous. Also, you had to factor in who you had to give up to get Giannis. Spurs would have to give up the farm to get Giannis. They would have to give up Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, and probably like 4 or 5 first-round picks, which is a lot to give up. And I don't blame the Bucks for wanting all that. I would do the same in their situation, so I can't knock them. And I don't want to give up Stephon Castle or Dylan Harper, because I think both of them are going to be very good players. I'm really high on Dylan Harper. I think he's going to be a superstar player in a few years. I really do. I see it in him when I see him play. He can already do things that you see only great players capable of doing. Like, for example, he can control the pace of the game whenever he's in. He can control the tempo, and he can speed up the game, or he can slow it down. He knows how to do that already. He's also good at making players look better around him. He's making players better around him, which is something great players do. I see guys like Keldon Johnson and Cornette and these other guys look a lot better than they normally do when he's on the floor with them. He's already able to lift up guys' level of play, which is a trait only great players tend to have. He's also an elite ball handler already. He's good at attacking the rim. He's just a great finisher. He has elite attacking abilities. So I think it's like he's gonna be a great player. I just have a good feeling about it that he just has to remain healthy. He's gonna be there. Stephon Castle also showed a lot of potential last year. He won Rookie of the Year. I think if he stays healthy, he's going to become an all-star caliber player. I don't know about superstar, but I definitely believe at least all-star caliber. I look at him. So you have a potential of at least one superstar and an all-star caliber player to pair up with Victor. Why get rid of that? And there's a dark horse's chance that I think Stephon Castle could be a superstar. So let's say in the best case scenario, those two guys turn out to be superstars, and you got Victor, who's already a superstar. You're going to have an awesome homegrown team, kind of equivalent to what OKC had during the late 2000s and early 2010s with Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. But I think the Spurs will be smarter to keep this core intact. They won't be stupid to throw it away. And on top of that, you still have De'Aaron Fox. So by the time Fox gets old, that's when these guys will take over, when it comes to Harper and Castle. So I just think the Spurs need to keep what they have. Don't trade away the future for the short term, because even if you get Giannis, you pair him with Victor, you're not going to have really any good perimeter players around them outside of De'Aaron Fox, because both Castle and Harper, I assume, would be gone. So you're going to have to then win games by being a super great defensive team. And you could pull that off with Giannis and Victor taking over the paint. That definitely rim protection will be very strong. And it would probably be the best in the league. That would be interesting to watch. But your perimeter is pretty much gutted outside of De'Aaron Fox. You don't have anybody else capable of creating on the perimeter. So teams would load up on trying to stop you on the perimeter. So it would be interesting. I could see the argument to doing this, but I just think it's so risky and dangerous to do it. So yeah, I would like to keep the core intact and just go from there. Granted, there's no guarantees that these guys live up to the potential I believe they can, or they even win a championship with this group. I'm willing to take that risk, as crazy as it sounds, versus taking the chance of getting Giannis and winning possibly a championship in the short term in the next few years with him. That's a possibility. But I still willing to go with the long-term risk of keeping Castle and Dylan Harper with Victor. So yeah, that's my hot take on this.